We're talking about, financial freedom, how to create multiple streams of income. For most of you here, I'm sure some of you have 9 to 5 jobs, and you're also wondering, how can I do better? How can I improve my income stream? So Bola is the expert here. I'm going to bring her on now.
Awesome. So thank you for having me on, Shirley. I'm really excited to talk to you and your audience. So my name is Bola. I'm the founder of Clever Girl Finance, and Clever Girl Finance is a financial education platform for women to essentially help women get comfortable with making decisions about money and get to the point where you're able to achieve those big financial dreams that you have for yourself and actually turn those dreams into goals and then turn those goals into your reality. So I'm all about empowering women like you who are watching this to do better with your money.
So with most of us, most people I know have a 9 to 5 job, and it's never really enough because you feel like, how do people become millionaires on a 9 to 5 job? I know, a lot of people can still do it, but as most people will say, most financial experts will say, it's always good for you to have at least, are you with the filters?
I'm looking at filters.
So yeah, most people wonder, how else can I really push through and gain that financial freedom I want without necessarily just sticking to one income? How else can people do it and do it efficiently as well? Because having a 9 to 5 is a lot of work, especially if you're not a parent, if you're married. So that's even more work on top of that. So how can you manage, other income streams without having to go crazy? Or
it's great to have multiple streams of income because obviously it helps you to expand how much you're earning. But I also think that it's important for people to maximize their main stream of income first, so that, like you said, it can be overwhelming if you have a family, you have kids, you're working long hours, and it's hard to kind of like split yourself again to be able to take a part-time job, etc. So you always want to start with what you have now and how can you maximize that. So does that mean that you look for a better paying job that pays you more money for that 9 to 5? Does that mean that you pursue getting promoted so you can get a higher income at your job? Those are things you want to think about. You also want to make sure that you're taking advantage of all the benefits that your employer is offering you that over the long term will save you money. So for instance, if they have any kind of retirement plan, investment plans that you know that you can be contributing to and, having that money work for you, you want to think about participating in that. So start with what you have now and how can you maximize that. Once you've gotten to the point where you've maximized that job, then okay, what else can I be doing to earn extra money, increase my streams of income? So go ahead.
Quick question. When you talk about income, for most people they think, oh, how can I make more money and spend more money? But when you're also talking about multiple streams of income, you're talking about investment as well, long-term investment. When you mentioned the pension and savings and investment, so it's not just what you need to spend now or what you need to use now, it's also for the future in long term.
Absolutely. Exactly. So the whole point of making money is, number one, so you can live a good life, and number two, so that you can plan for your future self. So absolutely. as you're earning your salaries, as you're thinking about ways to expand your income, you want to be very mindful of what your intent is, because there's no point to kill yourself working all these jobs, figuring out how to increase your income streams if you don't have a plan for this money. It'll just find ways to leave you. So like you said, you have to be clear, have objectives, know why you're killing yourself to make the money. So let's talk about, I guess, the way you can expand your income or increase your income. So there's 3 key ways to earn income. There is active income or earned income, and this is the money that you earn when you exchange your time for money. So you go to your job, you spend 40 hours there, you get this paycheck. You go to a part-time job, you spend X amount of hours there, you get this paycheck. And that is a great way to, earn money, having a job and then earning additional income through a part-time job. But however, you only have so much time in your life to give away to exchange, right? We only have 40 hours in a week, 24 hours in a day. You cannot work perpetually exchanging your time for money. So everybody should have that, because that's, you go to jobs, maybe you have a business, etc. But then you want to start thinking about, how do I earn income that requires me to exchange less of my time for a higher return to make more money. So then you start thinking about things like passive income, which is what you hear a lot of people talking about. And passive income is basically when you put in the groundwork to have something that has been created generate money for you. So for instance, if you spend, 3 months writing a book, you now have this asset that you can put on Amazon that can perpetually be generating passive income for you, with you not having to exchange your time for that money outside of the initial time that you used to create it. The same could apply to if you have an online course. For instance, you spend the time creating this online course, but then once it's ready, you put it out in the world and it starts to generate the income for you. And you're not actively there teaching it because it's on whatever platform. Other things are like affiliate products. So for instance, Mary Kay or Avon are affiliate products in a sense. The product has already been created. They've already been tested. They have a really strong brand name. And so you have your own little Mary Kay or Avon website. This is just an example. And people come to you by virtue of the name of the brand, and you're able to earn income that way. So those are, examples of passive income. Another example of passive income is if you are a landlord or you purchase rental real estate. You spend some time and some money making it look nice and pretty, but every month your tenant gives you a paycheck.
Yeah.
Right. Or gives you a rent check for that property. So that's another form of passive income, especially if the rent they're giving you covers the mortgage and gets you some additional earnings on top, like profit on top. Wow. So passive income is something that everybody should be thinking about. How can I minimize how much time I'm exchanging and earning? How can I minimize how much time I'm exchanging for the money I'm earning? But one big thing I want to point out when it comes to passive income is that passive income does not just become passive income. You have to work.
For you to be able to get another house, like if you have a house, you have a mortgage, fantastic. For you to be able to get a second house, for you to then rent away, you must have at least saved enough to be able to do that. You're absolutely right.
So those are two types, active income and passive income. The third type of income is called portfolio income, and this is the real money maker. Passive income is a great way to make money, but portfolio income is really tied to investments. Specifically, investments that are earning you interest. This is basically, your bank account. Not necessarily, but when you think about things like investing in the stock market or investing in businesses, dividends, getting paid dividends, which is a return on your investment, that is what you call portfolio income. And this is basically if you have stocks or bonds or mutual funds or things like that, those are assets that are working for you with you doing the research to determine what you need to invest in. But also, once you spend a few hours every few months just readjusting your portfolio, that money is working for you with you actually not having to do anything. You don't have to get up and drive anywhere. You don't have to pick up your phone and call anybody. You don't have to sell any product to anyone. It's actively working for you, but you have to dedicate time here and there to make sure that it's in line with your objectives. You're doing your research, you're understanding how the market is working.
And how does that relate to compound interest? Or is that correct? So, yeah. Okay. If you can explain that quickly, investment.
So compound interest is basically what Albert Einstein described as the eighth wonder of the world. So it's basically when your money earns money, and then the money that your money earns more money, and that continues to happen in perpetuity until you take the money out. So for instance, if you...
Your money is having kids, and the kids are having kids. That makes a lot of sense.
Exactly. So, and when you are investing your money, there's the power of compounding. That's the key to building long-term wealth. It is compounding. Saving your money in a bank account is great for the short term, but it does not build you long-term wealth because of inflation. Inflation is the decline in the value of the dollar or the pound or whatever currency you have, right? So for example, in the US, our inflation rate is about 2.5%. There is no savings account anywhere that's giving you anything close to 20%, which means every year you keep a bulk of money in your bank account, the value of that money becomes less. And so there is value to keeping money in your bank account. You want to keep money for your short-term goals. So anything under 5 years, you're saving for a house, your emergency fund, that stays in the bank account because you don't tie that to any stock market or business risks. But if you're planning long-term retirement, saving for your kids' college, living out this dream life you want to have, then your money needs to be invested, because that's where you actually make the big money and major compounding based on those interest rates and dividends.
You're trying to build, an empire or a dream, and your kids are going to grow up in 20 years' time. If you can manage to just make sure you save as much as possible, for them to then, continue it on. As you said, you don't take it out; they just keep having kids, and the money keeps making more money. I was just asked, what have you been doing to generate more income stream, and what has worked and what hasn't worked? I think for me, one way I'm generating. Oh, someone said, can you please talk a bit about portfolio income?
I'll answer so I guess so that you can just share what you do, and then I'll answer the question.
No problem. So for me, I have a 9-to-5 job. I'm a digital marketer by trade. I've been doing this for over 8 years now. So I have a 9-to-5 job. I do that. And then on the side, I have African Mommy. So African Mommy is a community of moms and women of African origin. So I try and get people together. It's an online community. So I have a website where I'm running. And the whole point of this, at some point, is, for me to work with other brands. And also, and this is the investment Bola is talking about. I'm investing in it now for the future. So working with other brands and building my own brand to in a bigger way at some point. And I also do work with small businesses on the side as well. So I work with them in terms of helping them generate their online presence, or helping them improve their online presence. If you're a small business and you wanted to talk about how you can generate income online through your website, so I can work with you directly on that. So I kind of have apart from my 9-to-5, I have 2 other things I'm doing on the side as well. And I'm also, saving. I have investment as well, which everything I'm talking about right now, I've also been working with Bola. Bola has been my financial advisor. So, she's talked to me about all these things, and, I've been very much, doing all of them. With everything she's talked about, I'm doing it. Let's just do it like that.
It was Sylvia that asked about portfolio income, and that's really, think about investments, right? Your investments in the stock market, investing in stocks and bonds and mutual funds, that is portfolio income, and it's income that is earning you dividends and capital gains. And capital gains is just basically it's capital gains. A very high level is defined on the money that your money makes, right? And your money makes that money through compounding. So let's take the U.S. stock market, for example. And, stock markets are very global now, so this can generally apply to everywhere. But the U.S. stock market has an average of a 9% return on your investment over the long term. You don't really get that anywhere else, not in a savings account, not in sitting in your checking account. And so as you start to think about how can I expand my income, investing should be one of those aspects. And an average means that there's some years where the stock market is doing 20, 30%, and it's amazing in gains. And then some years where the stock market is not doing that great, which is what happened with the 2008 financial storm, what happened with Greece, what's happening in Turkey right now, for example. However, over the long term, the average, the line through the middle, if you're planning your investments long term, is about 9%. And that's basically 9%, so 8 to 9%. So that's basically 9% return on your investment. So yeah, let's say you invest $10,000 for the next, 15, 20 years, for example. You can expect to get a 9% return on your investment. So investing in the stock market is. So I can't speak for other stock markets, but the stock markets are very much, because we live in this global village now, they're very much tied together. If something happens in one major economy, it affects all the others. So, but I'm basing that on the U.S. stock market. So that's where portfolio income comes from.
The major ones are NASDAQ and FTSE. What's the Chinese one, or the Asian?
I don't know. I think I know what it's called, but I don't remember. So if you guys have iPhones or Androids, right, just open your stock app and you'll see all the major international ones. And then you can also see the ones.
You can go on a stock app as well.
Yep, you can go. You can go on, there's one on the iPhone by default. I think it's called the Stock app. I don't know what it's called. It's like with your photos and messages. And you can basically look at all the different, like across international, depending where you are, you'll see like what the major markets are. Before you download any app, before you talk to any financial advisor, before you put any dollar in anything, you need to sit down and do some research. You have to have
Absolutely.
a high level of understanding. And that could mean picking up an Investing 101 book. It could mean reading about what is a stock, what is a mutual fund, what is a bond. Don't just download an app and start putting your money into it without knowing how that money is going to be invested.
So start with active, then passive, and then you can start talking about your portfolio investment and your long-term investments. And you really have to start slowly. You can't just jump into everything like, oh yeah, I'm an expert now. I've just listened to Bola and I'm just go for it.
So as you start thinking about planning out, increasing your income, what is the point of you increasing your income? What are you going to use that income to do? And you need to have a priority list. Number one, I'm going to start an emergency fund. Number two, I'm going to pay off my debt. Number three, I'm going to start my business or my kids' college fund. Number three, I'm going to start, this investing to buy that house in 25 years on the beach that I've been dreaming about. You need to have a priority.
Pay off your debt. You can still save a little bit more, but make sure that the debt you owe, you're paying a bit more of that off first, and then save as much as you can as well. But just prioritize it based on, whichever one is more important, I guess. Because you need to pay your debt first, and then you can start saving money. And it makes perfect sense.
Bitcoin is great for people who understand exactly how it works and are open to taking on the risk and are not going to lose their minds with the volatility of the markets. So Bitcoin goes up and down. However, if you don't know what Bitcoin is, you don't understand how cryptocurrency works. Bitcoin is a type of cryptocurrency. You don't understand the volatility and the risk of this. You don't understand how Bitcoin is mined, the history of it. Please don't invest your money in this thing until you do your research. So books specifically on investing.
Have you got any book, Bola? Do you have any book at all that you're?
There is going to be a Clever Girl Finance book in a few months. I just don't have a date for that yet, but you will know. Other books. If we're talking about investing books, like, to be honest, The Intelligent Investor is a great one. There is a book for dummies called Investing 101. The Tony Robbins Money Master the Game is a great book. Yeah. It's a very heavy book though. So if you're new to investing, it might overwhelm you. I would start with like an Investing 101 or Introduction to Investing book just go on Amazon, pick the book that has 5 stars. Tony Robbins Money Master the Game is a really good book, but it's also a very heavy book. So you kind of want to ease yourself into it. General finance books, there's a ton of them. In fact, there are too many for me to mention right now, but I have one that I just got from somewhere, and I've heard it's a really good book, so I'll just show it to you guys. I haven't read it yet, but I've heard that it's really good. And
you never stop learning. You never stop reading.
Is this what it's called? Sacred Success. A Course in Financial Miracles by Barbara Stanny. She wrote the book of Secret of Six-Figure Women.
Okay.
And she also wrote the book How to Overcome Under-Earning. So this book helps you take a fresh look at your relationship with money, wealth, etc. So I've heard it's really good. I've browsed through it and it looks really awesome. So Clever Girl Finance, if you didn't hear the intro, financial education for women, so feel free to stop by the website. We have a course that you can take. Follow us on Instagram.
Yes, www.clevergirlfinance.com.
Yeah. Follow us on Instagram at Clever Girl Finance. We have a YouTube channel called Clever Girl Finance as well. And then also be sure to listen to the podcast. It's on iTunes and Stitcher and SoundCloud, etc. And it's called Clever Girls Know. Or you can search Clever Girl Finance.
She has a website, there's a podcast, there's a book coming out soon. Like when you're talking about someone that knows about how to make multiple streams of income, that's Bola. If you really want to take this further, you can contact her directly. She's on clevergirlfinance.com. or at Clever Girl Finance. Thank you so much, Bola, for coming on.
Thank you for having me, Shile.
Again, I would really love to bring Come On Me is a community of women and moms of African origin. What we tend to do, or what we aim to do, is to empower, encourage, and support women of African origin, whether it's in your financial life or your parenting life or just your life in general. However you want us to support you, contact me. We'll try as much as possible to get any experts in different fields on, and just providing that support and network. Hi from South Africa. I'm so happy to know that we have a lot of people from South Africa. Hello, 77_shalom. Thank you for joining. Please, guys, go onto the website and register. It's www.africanmommy.com. Let's just connect. Let's build this community up. We have other community building there. I really want us to just come together from different African nations or African countries and just build this network, build this community. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you guys have a good day. Thank you guys for joining.